he would be one of the sons of Kronos, which is the god of time, and Kronos was also the father of not not Zeus, I don't think. Yeah, he was the father of Zeus, Kronos, and then Uranus was Kronos' father, I believe.
Let's see, isn't Uranus a European term? Uranus is a later term, isn't it?
He's the Greek father of Kronos. Actually,
Okay, I'm just thinking the actual name Uranus is a later term. Some more.
so we're gonna be sitting here talking about Uranus all night. I mean, seriously, dude. Are
Okay.
we going there?
I leave that to Jeff. He was on
I
that.
had to do it, you know. I had to do it, you know.
Yeah.
I had to do it. Now, the name Erebus is also used to refer to either the darkness of the underworld itself, or the region through which souls pass to reach Hades, and can sometimes be used as a synonym for Tartarus or Hades. Now, the etymology, the meaning of the word Erebus is darkness or gloom, referring to that of the underworld. It derives from the Proto-Indo-European Hyregos, which is darkness, and is cognate with the Sanskrit Rajas, dark lower air dust. The Armenian Eric, evening, in the Gothic Rikus, and the Old Norse Rikor, which is dark dust. So, just so if anybody needs to know about the um, etymology of this name, that's where it all comes from. And like I said, I do want to get into Indo-European and what was it? I want to get into the pre-Greek substrates, which is before the Greek language. And well, before I get into all that, I'll just do the rest of this. That I don't even know for sure if I'll be able to get into that by the end of the night, but I did want to cover Nyx. Now, Nyx is the one that I want to cover next. Now, in Greek mythology, Nyx is the goddess and personification of the night. And in Hesiod's Theogony, she is the offspring of chaos and the mother of Ether and Hamarad, which is day, by Erebus, darkness. By herself, she produces a brood of children, which are mainly personifications of primary negative forces. She, she features in a number of early cosmogonies, which place her as one of the first deities to exist. In the works of poets and playwrights, she lives at the edge of the earth and is often described as a black-robed goddess who drives through the sky in a chariot pulled by horses. In the Iliad, Homer relates that even Zeus fears to displease her. Night is a prominent figure in several theogonies of Orphic literature, in which she is often described as the mother of Uranus and Gaia. In the earliest Orphic cosmogonies, she is the first deity to exist, while in the later Orphic rhapsodies, she is the daughter and consort of Phanes, and the second ruler of the gods. She delivers prophecies to Zeus from the Adyton and is described as the nurse of the gods. In the Rhapsodies, there may have been three separate figures named Night. In ancient Greek art, Nyx often appears alongside other celestial deities such as Selene, Helios, and Eos, as a winged figure driving a horse-pulled chariot. Though of little cultic importance, she was also associated with several oracles. The Romans referenced her as Nox, whose name also means night. Now, I am going to be getting into Eos too, which I really think is important to do. This is where we start getting into the primal stuff. This was the stuff that I wanted to go down, or the avenue I did want to go down last year, but I ended up getting distracted by it. And I don't have any problems with actually doing that, you know what I'm saying? But I did want to go this direction because things you get to a point when you start doing this stuff where there's just so much that you can actually do research on when it comes to time. History, what we consider history, only goes back to like 15,000 BC. And if you want to go farther than that, you have to go into prehistory, which I can get into, you know, but it's not really as cool as what history is, to be honest, you know, in my opinion. So what happened was I started getting into linguistics and figuring out the migration patterns of some of these cultures that was around before civilizations and things of that nature. And that's really where I feel people should be going after they hit a certain point in doing this kind of research. You know what I mean, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's just so much you can learn, you know what I mean, when it comes to this stuff. Like, tablets freaking decay, you know what I mean? Like, after a certain amount of time, they're not going to be able to find much more when it comes to tablets and archaeological finds, because it's going to be gone, you know. It decays after a certain
depend on the environment,
and technology.
Yeah.
Technology too.
Well, not necessarily technology, but the environmental sort of conditions that they are stored in.
Yeah. Well, think about it too. Okay, you've got a lot of these tablets that are in the ground. All right, and once they become exposed to the oxygen again, you have to make sure that they're not damaged. And some of them have had damage done to them, but at the same time, it's a blessing they were able to get what they could get. Like I've heard some pretty messed up stories about the beginnings whenever they first started getting serious about archaeology, and like now they're doing a lot better job, but they could still be doing better than what they've been doing. Even, you know, it's progress in motion, is what I call it. So now, like I said, I did want to get into Eos, but before that I wanted to go over the Astrius. Have you ever heard of that?
As an Astrian.
The Astrius is astrological deity.
Okay.
Some also associate him with the winds, as he is the father of the four Antimoi, and they're all the wind deities. And his wife was Eos. Now, his name Astrius is ancient Greek, and it derives from the Greek word aster, which is star. Star. star itself is inherent from the Proto-Indo-European root Hester, and from Hehius. No, it's hard doing that because they always put the 2 in there, but it's H2 stir, which is usually Hester, and that means star. And then H2EH 1S, which is usually His, and that means to burn. Now, Astrea shares the same etymology as what these two words share right here. So, the mythology, according to Hesiod's Theogony and Bibliotheca, Astraeus is a second-generation Titan descendant from Creus in Eurybia. However, Hyginus wrote that he was descended directly from Tartarus in Gaia and referred to him as one of the Gigantus Servius, perhaps conflating him with the giant like Hyginus did. Wrote that he took arms and fought against the gods. Now, Astraeus married Eos, the goddess of the dawn. Together, as nightfall and daybreak, they produced many children associated with what occurs in the sky during twilight. So that's lovemaking is what they're talking about. Let's see. Now, in Hesiod's Theogony, Astraeus and Eos produces the winds, namely Zephyrus, Boreas, and Notus, as well as Usophorus and the stars. A few sources mention another daughter, Astraea, the goddess of innocence and occasionally justice. Now, he is also sometimes associated with Aeolus, the keeper of the winds, since winds often increase around dusk. Now, in Nonnus's epic poem Dionysiaca, Astraeus is presented as an oracular god whom the goddess Demeter visits, concerned about her daughter Persephone's future, as she had started to attract a significant number of admirers on Olympus. She had turned into a whore. Okay. And now Persephone's is attracting all of these people, these admirers to Olympus.